Hello YouTube, Corny here with HillBilly Designs. Today we're going to show you how to use this clever little tool that I picked up off of Amazon. Picked it up for about $37 and some change. It's really neat. It's made by Coppermine tools. You can check a lot of the information out on copperminetools.com. I'll put a link on the video there for you. Anyways, it's got really neat little disc here that's got multiple different holes and slots for Romex, coax, a lot of different size wire. They claim that it will strip 24 gauge wire up to 0 gauge wire. I really don't believe it would do 0 gauge wire. Now I've got some 4 gauge wire over here with the insulation on it, and with the insulation added to it, it wouldn't fit in the largest hole, so I don't believe it would actually do 6 gauge wire. This is 4 gauge wire inside here. So with the coating on it, of course, it's not going to fit. I've done a lot of wire with this already. It's kind of quick. Takes a little while to get used to it. It was designed, I believe, to actually collapse, put the wire in there, and then pull it by hand. Which some guys might find that a lot faster. I choose to actually turn around and mount it into my little vise that I have on my bench. Allows me an additional hand to do the pull through and control it and then drop it and do some other stuff. You'll find that up here into the back here there is it's a mini utility blade. They can be found, they've got a small screw there so that you can replace it. Of course, cutting copper, tapping into the copper, they're eventually going to get dull. But I've seen them at Lowe's, I've seen them at Home Depot. I've actually picked some up at Harbor Freight. Really cheap. Anyways, there's a small adjustment screw right here. All it is it's a screw with a little jam nut, and it limits the amount of squeeze that this has, so that when you're going down into the center of the slot up here, it prevents you from cutting into the wire. It's not a good thing whenever you're cutting into the stranded wire. It kind of hangs up pretty bad. Once you do it a few times, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyways, let me get started with putting this into the bench vise so that I can go ahead and show you how I strip a few of the wires. Okay, it's mounted in there. I'm going to come over here and get you just a little bit closer. Got a piece of, I believe it's the R59 coax cable, things that you'd use on CBs. How I'd do is I'd start by loosening my wing nut here, find the appropriate the hole here, put the wire in. Once I do, I pull it out, I push the top down, engaging the blade into the hole. Pull the seat up here, make it a little easier. Anyways, once I've got the blade lined up into the appropriate hole, I start with putting this into the back. I pull it through the hole just about 3/8 to 1/2 inch, grab my pliers, put some slight pressure on this, and drag this through. Sometimes a little bit harder there. You'll get used to the amount of pressure that you have to apply to get that out, get it to cut correctly. Okay, I've got my shielding off the outside, the braided type shielding. Occasionally I'll turn around and use my magnet just to make sure I don't have some copper coated steel or tin. It's really annoying whenever you take it and you find out it ain't worth even scrap. After that, now I've got the centerpiece. Looks like it's stranded, and again we need to loosen up our wing nut, find the appropriate hole, and then I put the blade down, snug up my wing nut. Now at this point you really want to look inside the hole and just get about what the thickness of your coating is on this wire that you're going to want to cut. And then take a Phillips screwdriver and get this down, and here in the back where the adjustment screw was, it's just it's a limiting screw is all it is. Push it down to the point where you can see about where it is, adjust it. Once you get it adjusted, now I start my wire from the back, start it through the hole. Again, I do about the same thing all the time, about 3/8 of an inch. And then I apply my pressure to the wire and pull my wire through. Now this side, because I had about 3/8 of an inch that I did not slice with this, I'm going to want to go back a little further than 3/8 of an inch. So what I'll do is I take my wire, handy little wire stripper here. Okay. Now that I went back probably a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, I just kind of bend it to the side like that until I find my little, where my cut is. And of course I grab both sides. And if you choose, you can use pliers. I just like pulling it by hand. And voila. Casing that goes in the trash. Good copper wire. Pretty simple and harmless. Wad it up. That was some coax. I've got some other stuff over here. I thought it was solid wire at first, but it looks like it's a multiple wire. But let's see what's in it. Again, wing nut, unloosen it, find the hole that it fits in the most appropriate. There are some holes they'll fit in, but it's so tight that when you're pulling through it, it catches the insulation on the outside, and it can become very difficult to pull through. So I go to the next biggest hole, align my blade to where it comes down through there, snug up my wing nut, again let go, and then I start from the back. When you get into multiple different sizes all the time, I mean, it gets to be a real pain in the butt. But here again, if you choose to set it for one particular size wire and then do a lot of it at once, it makes it a lot quicker. I cut mine in about 1 foot, 18 inches a lot of the time, and then that way I just kind of buzz through it really quick. Alright, here we go on this piece of wire. Not quite sure what it is. I think it's got a multiple of smaller wires inside, so it's got a cable. That didn't work very well. But let's see. And my wire strippers aren't going to do quite well. We'll get our utility knife out here. Be very careful, don't cut yourself. Don't do the dumb things that I do. Take all safety precautions. Glasses. Yes, that's exactly what we got. We've got some wire here. It's got some aluminum, looks like a small thin aluminum shielding on it. And it's got a multi-conductor inside, 3 little ones. Looks like about, I don't know, possibly maybe 22 gauge. This is really not worth anything. Anyways, I do have three small multiple conductors in this one. On some of these, I just take them in, sell it as weight as it is. Wait till you get a bunch of it. Doesn't come to very much. And so you can do some of this small stuff with these, I believe. It's just sitting here. I think we probably could actually strip that. Well, anyways, on to another one I'd like to demonstrate. Here's a solid wire. This one looks to be about 14 gauge, I believe, just a stranded 14 gauge green. Again, I'm going to find the appropriate hole. That one's a little big. Well, that one's a little tight, so we'll go to that bigger one. Put our blade down. Now you might want to turn around and adjust this adjusting screw in the back for all your different sizes. After using it, I've got to the point where I just kind of leave it up. I go ahead and stick my wire through there, grab a hold of it with about 3/8 of an inch sticking out, and I've learned to apply what I can feel as far as the right amount of pressure here, because I can feel it cutting the wire, and then if I feel I'm cutting too deep, I let up a little bit. Just takes a little practice. Grab my handy little wire strippers here. Strip that off. Grab the copper, and I bend it, and I can see on this side the little slice into the insulation. Grab both the copper, and it's that simple. On a bad day here, like a lot of rain or snow or something of that sort, come here in the garage, fire up the heater, turn on the YouTube, maybe even Pandora, listen to some of your favorite music. I can sit here and go through quite a few, actually, a few pounds or more of that stuff just sitting here. So why not on a bad day? Here's some more, a little bit bigger. How about I demonstrate a little bit of the bigger stuff here? I've got what looks like some, I know this wire was burnt pretty bad, and I cut a couple of the good chunks out of it. It's a gauge, it's 4 gauge. It's pretty big. Actually, on some of this larger stuff, it's better just to get a board and lay it down on the thing and actually turn around and come down with a good utility knife. Probably a lot quicker. But I just did want to demonstrate that this tool can and will do this. So I choose the appropriate hole that fits well. I line my blade up in there. So as you can see, it goes, it's got some springs there, just brings it up and down. And of course the vise holds it. Again, I apply this from the back through here. I grab it and just apply some pressure here to where I feel like I'm cutting through my insulation. That quick. I mean, that really almost effortless. Just takes time. Grab my utility knife, of course. Be very careful again. And okay, this one wants to be a little stubborn, so we're going to go ahead and just cut off this little piece. Okay, grab the copper, start your little bend, pull the insulation. Again, voila, beautiful bright copper. Do what you do, sell it. Melt it down. I prefer to melt my stuff down to make copper items. I enjoy doing a lot of other stuff versus selling it, but they do bring a few pennies. Just watch your bulletins and see, look in the newspapers to see what it is about. All right, I hope you all enjoyed what we did today. By no means am I sponsored by Coppermine tools. I just thought I'd share this because I've really enjoyed this tool. It's lightweight, throw it in your pocket, do it out in the field someplace. Maybe right off the tailgate of your pickup truck sometime when you got some music going on and a beautiful day outside. You can sit there and strip a lot of copper and make a few more bucks for the next time you all get together. Anyways, if you've enjoyed this, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Until the next time, have a good one.